Hey, this is Tracy Lewis from Stuff and Things with another installment of Winter is Coming Wednesday. I have two projects to share. I am, as a rule, trying to do one Thanksgiving and one Christmas layout. The first one is going to be going through new products, and the second project is using old products. So I wanted to explore for unto us the top two sentiments. For the exercise today, I'm actually using the second sentiment, but both of them are the same size. They are very large, they are long, and so they are more aligned with a horizontal card. And I wanted to make it beautiful. I wanted to have a classy statement, but yet be simple. So I started out by looking around for a way to take that second sentiment here and make it really pretty. So what I ended up doing was using a set of dies. I came to mind because I know that the die set has a long rectangle. So it's called Ornate Layers, and the two dies I'm going to show you fit right here. They are long and skinny, and when I did my check for fit, they worked perfectly. So here is the rectangle. It's stitched, and then I wanted to put the metallic gold, which is new in the holiday catalog, that as of when this is going to be put live, the catalog will have gone live yesterday on Tuesday, the 4th. All right, so with this in mind, I went ahead and decided I was going to do the brushed metal. I was going to use gold and Night of Navy. I toyed with Misty Moonlight and just thought that I wanted to go a little bit up more along the elegant side of things, so I went with Night of Navy. And this is what it looks like. And I'm trying not to show you the decorative threads I put on. So this is what it looks like. It's very beautiful. The size, when you buy these 12 by 12 foils, the glimmer papers, any of the fancy papers that are 12 by 12s, you of course want to use as much of it as you can and have little waste. So I cut my 12 by 12s down to 4 by 6, and this is what a sheet looks like. Now if you compare it to a full A2 size, it is actually a 1/4 inch off short, an eighth on each side on the 4 1/4 side. So you get 4 by 6, and that means when I'm looking at how to best take this long rectangular sentiment and make it be the focal and not have any other decorative dies or anything on the page, the idea of having a thin gold edge around the border at the A2 size doesn't work because this is a 4 inch and it's too narrow. And I don't want to break down my cardstock into any other increments to get that extra 1/4 of an inch to be able to have a piece of the metallic be to the edge of the A2, top and bottom. You can do it on the sides because it's 6 inches, so you get to lop off some on the end, or 1/2 inch, and you could use that extra piece. So that's what I was working with, and like I told you, I then was looking at how to dress this up, and I picked the dies with the scallops, and then I added the 3 wraps of gold thread that is also in the new catalog. So now I had a shape that I felt was enough of a shape to stand alone on an A2 size, some sort of paper, cardstock, and I opted for going monochromatic, though I do have a sample of it with a different color just to show you. So first off, I'll show you what it looks like, and I already have photographs of these to go in the showcase at the end, that you could take this on the flat, unaltered piece of cardstock and add some gold gems of some variety, and it would be totally fine. If you wanted to do strips, I didn't do a sample of strips, but you could take and make edge strips. Now you can't, the problem that you get into is that on the 4-inch side, this 1/2 inch doesn't work. But you can get long strips and make them be the very outside edge if you wanted a border, all 4 sides. And I really wasn't going for the all 4 sides treatment. I was trying to do something a little bit different. So I went down the path of doing some embossing with some of the new embossing folders. The first one is the Old World parchment looking, and I think and that's full A2 size. I really like how that looks. So my husband's under the trailer. We are getting ready to move. We've spent the last 2.5 weeks at my mom's for the first time in 3 years, and it has been lovely. I have enjoyed going out feeding the horses carrots anytime I feel like it, and a couple of times my mom has, because we're down here, it's a little distracting, and so like today I looked over and here's this horse coming toward me, and the fence is electric white tape, and the white tape was down, so she had the gate open there to do mowing of their little paddock that they stay in at night. And luckily I hopped out there with some carrots and got him to stop before he came out here. Our lawn is much longer, and so I'm sure he was thinking that looked like an opportune time to go do some snacking, and got him back in his place. So I'm sure my mom would hate to see me leave, but then she'll get back to her normal routine. So I like the look of the parchment. Not sure if I would want to do gold around the edge. I have to be careful because these sides are pretty close. So for me, the most I would maybe want is some sort of a top and bottom treatment, and some of the gilded gold rhinestones, perhaps. Rhinestones, I wouldn't do sequins, I would do rhinestones for a more classy look. Okay, then there is, in fact, in the catalog, which the catalog, like I said, was released yesterday. And I'm going to show you 35. Now that I can legally show you the inside of the catalog. For the page that has the Foreign to Us stamp set, it does show using the Evergreen Forest 3D embossing folder. So I thought, okay, I will go ahead and do one. But in the case of it being horizontal, you kind of can't tell that they're trees to me. I looked at the embossing folder and thought, I wonder if there's a way I can just have the trees be lower, but then you're going to have the cardstock off the edge. It's a 6x6, so logistically I would need to have some different kind of a die cutter to be able to get my cardstock off the edge outside of the embossing folder, if that makes any sense. So the most I could raise it up to be able to show off the trees is about there. And if I were to use this background, would just go ahead and center it and do the gold gilt embellishments and call that good. But this isn't quite what I wanted. I did two more. So then there is this is the ocean. This is from the annual catalog, and I had catalog here so I can tell you what it's called. I think it's called Seabed. I am not quite sure, so let me get the embossing folders out It is called, yeah, okay, Seabed. I thought that that might have a nice look to it. So I went ahead and did the embossing, and when I put this on, it is definitely getting closer to what I had in mind, but I still wanted it to look a little more formal. Then there's the tin foil embossing folder, and then there's a Parisian embossing folder. So this was the one that I liked the best. And then I went ahead and told you that I would do strips of gold top and bottom. And I can put this on. The trickiest part of using this Parisian embossing folder is making sure that you center your cardstock so that this flower is in the middle. And I went ahead and I use on the sides these two little flourishes. Top and bottom, I look for, the same amount of like these two little flourish tails, top and bottom, and so it came out pretty centered, and then I was able to trim it down even further. So now we're starting to get the look that I had envisioned. And then the last piece is putting it on an A2 size base. And I would want color on color. So this is what I am going to end up going with for this card, and then I will add the gems, 3 or 5 gems. And that is my card of the week. It's hard when you get these, you fall in love with the sentiments, you get them and they're huge, and you have a hard time making everything fit. And you don't want the card to get too busy. So I think that this is a really good treatment for this sentiment. I will probably put the "Oh Come Let Us Adore Him" on the inside of the card. This is the inside sentiment, but I was afraid that the "Oh Come Let Us Adore Him" would just be not enough busyness to go on with the look that I wanted for this particular card. But I think it achieves my vision. And I don't mind what I'll do. So I have all these. I go ahead and put any leftover embossing folders or embossed cardstock, I just put it back in my packet for the night of navy, and I will use them later. So for fun, I went ahead and I had been working on, with you guys, the poinsettias, and I made 2 old olive tin foil card base or backgrounds, and I have it here. I just pulled it out because I wanted to see how nice it would look with a different color. So if you took this tin foil and if that's what it's called, I should probably look that up too, since I just don't feel like that is the right word. I'm not very good at writing scripts, as you have not already noticed. I kind of am more spontaneous about these things, but I do have my catalogs handy. And this embossing folder, it's not tin foil, it's tin tile. Sorry about that. Okay, so the tin tile, I think it looks great, and I could trim it down and put the gold top and bottom like I had before. But I think I'm going to leave it blue on blue, and I do have to take a picture of the old olive for the very tail end. And then the second project is actually kind of more of a clean and simple design. It uses Gather Together and Rooted in Nature. It also uses the frames. My mom is down feeding the horses now, so we'll see if she comes to visit. I might have to go away for a minute or two. And this is a couple years old with the squares. I will pause for a second and look it up and let you know what it's called, and I'll also have it on our supplies list. Alright, I struggled with that. It is swirly frames, and the trick to doing a layout like this is it's 4 colors, and you have to do a repeating pattern top and bottom. So you'll notice that the early espresso is the farthest away from the upper corner, and then Bumblebee is again farthest away from the lower corner. So that's the only trick to it. And then I went ahead and staggered the leaves. The leaves are not on a square that is the same color. So it's 4 colors, and this is Bumblebee, Old Espresso, and I believe Cherry Cobbler. So those are the 4 colors. I colored the twine with pumpkin pie. It came out a little bit dark looking, but I liked how rustic it was for the fall season. And then I added just one gilded gem there. Normally I would do 3 or 5, so it was a challenge to just put 1. And then I also wanted to do the double sentiments with the inside sentiment on the bottom, just to balance it out, and I think it came out great. So next week you will see the Christmas version of this card. I'm trying to kind of keep things flowing, want to make sure that I cover new products as well as what you can do with a mix of the old products. And next week again will be the Christmas version of this card, and then yet another Thanksgiving card. At some point I might switch gears and do New Year's cards. I have not traditionally ever done New Year's cards, so I'm not sure if I want to go that route or not. And so it might just be that Winter is Coming Wednesday will be the mixture of Thanksgiving and Christmas cards. All right, so hopefully I inspired you, got your creative juices flowing with some of these odd different layouts that I'm doing, as well as large sentiments and how to make them look very nice all by themselves, set off with some foils and some nice backgrounds. And there will be more coming next Wednesday. Thanks for watching. All of the products you've seen demonstrated today from Stampin' Up are available on my store at stuffandthings.com/shop, which redirects you to Stampin' Up. I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, and I can sell to folks in the U.S. only. Before you go, please like this video, leave your comments, questions, and suggestions, and remember to subscribe to my channel for more card making tutorials.